Tsongkapa Chong
Yin Shenpo Chajampo Yantopo Sobe Sanje Ripa Dong Shaksu Deng Dewa Shipa Juden Chenpo Chupo Deng Kalo Jawa Lana Mepa Lada Mena Yambo Sanje Changde De Jawa Shaja Toba La Shangze Chodo Jiaosu Che Wu Ganyi Sowo Che Dang Che Sa Chen Den An Kong Ba Den Bo Ne Ma Ne Je Den Den An Ju Che Song De Ze Ke Ba Che La Shang Ze Lo Na Da Gang Cho Do So Zang Wang Ye Xie Jiang So Se Je Lun Bo Zhe Zhao Bo Je Den So Na Lang Ye Wang Gong Bo Chu Nian Che La Shang Ze Lo Sen Jo Den Ba Zhe Mian Da Yue Xiao Sen Do Zhao Wo Che La Shang Ze Lo De Zhe Jin Zhe Si Ba Song Ma Qin Nyang Mian Chen Jin Che La Shang Ze Lo Du Ju Che Den Ba Dong Ji Jin Bi Den Ba Bo Si Na Yu Den Jia Zu Xi De Jin Xie La Shang Ze Lo Da Bin De Cha Zhe Wo Jin Ge Yue Nge Song Le Zhu Xin Ji Du Dun Dang Qiu Ju Bo Xin Ju Qu La Shang Ze Lo Zhe Nian Zhe Yue Lang Yang Den Lao Ba Da La Zhao Du Nian Xin Ge Dang Ba Yin Dian Dian Gen De Lang Yang Shang Ze Lo De Ba Qie Yang Men Jia Xin Ge Wan Pi Song So Ba Xi Rang Ge Sen Nian Yong Su De De Ne Sang Jie Den Ba Yin Ka Ma Zha Re Ma Me Dang Ju Ma Se Wa Che Bu Dang Mian Lang Lo Da Jin Da Bu De Xie Che Nan De Da Da Si Nan De Yue Tang Jie Se Ba Yin Go Ban Ta Nian Qun Jie Zha De De Ga Dan Na Dan Che Yue La Zhuo Yue Si Bi Co Lin Zhou Wa Zhe Wa Yu.
Thus I have heard that at one time the Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of Vulture Peak Mountain, with a great gathering of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time the Blessed One was absorbed in the samadhi of the many aspects of phenomena called profound appearance. At the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, looking at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, saw the five skandhas in their natural emptiness. Then, through the power of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to the noble Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, how should a son of the lineage trained who wishes to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the noble Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, answered the Venerable Shariputra with these words. Shariputra, those men and women of the lineage who wish to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look at it like this. The five skandhas should see purely in natural emptiness. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form also is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, recognition, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are emptiness. Having no characteristics, they are born and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no recognition, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no phenomena. There is no quality of sight, and so on, until no quality of mind and no quality of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no exhaustion of ignorance, and so on up to no old age and death, and no exhaustion of old age and death. In the same way, there is no suffering, no origin, no ending, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, since there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide by means of the profound perfection of wisdom. And since their minds have no obscurations, they have no fear. Transcending falsity, they attain nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times have relied upon the perfection of wisdom, and have become true and complete Buddhas, unsurpassable, perfect, and completely enlightened. Therefore, the mantra of the profound perfection of wisdom, the mantra of insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering should be known as truth, for it is not deceptive. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Teata om gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisoha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One rose from that samadhi and said to the bodhisattva mahasattva, noble Abong Rinpoche, that he had spoken well. Well done, O son of the lineage, it is so. O son of the lineage, since it is just so, the profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will also rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Sharanvati Putra and noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Mahasattva and the entire gathering, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, rejoiced and praised the words of the Blessed One.
Kangye lo zhe zhe nye zhen zhe nye da na da ra se me che nye de ge che jen si che nye je to ga le ban zi kan da se be za ra ma re me do do nye che ze be ro zo ge la bu je da ze yan la zhu zhe yang de song zhu da che zhu nye mo nye long le zhe jia zhu zhu zi qian ma re mi se dong ye nyu gu ju nye jun zi re zhe nang de ne da jie sa jie da zi yue de le zu jia se tu yue gu je da ju nie jin zhi da le min se jia be yang la di o ara ba za na di o ara ba za na di ara ba za na di ze de che je che ra ze je la le de mo me ba ra se ne de je xiong lo do ba ye be na wa ze so ya sa je bu ye je xiu ye me ye do zhao ye re ro ye liu ye je je ye de ye je ye bo ye de so ye je ye shi ye do mi ye de ye bi ye wo ye ro ye ge ye no do ye shi lo shi ye bo yo ye je zi lo 我 Lam Rim Chenmo shi o bin de de ju la ka zhen xian bi ngu zhu zi du su bin zu ge le xian yue zhen bi gu tao yan zhou yue zhe wang gong yue song ma li xie jia zhi jian zi bin du xia ji su wu dian la su wan di tu ji qian bu di shi du ji cheng chu zi di lu ba dan na zhuan ba bin zhong zhong bi ba dan a di xiang niang li xin lo ji la su wan di xiang ba tong mi yin nian na zhu di jiu di di yue di na zha bin bin se zang ge san le nian su lian ba jia jin xu bi ji la su wan di jiang yin xu ji lu zhu dang da wan zha ba ri bi ku ju jian san jie gu ju ba ba ya zi su sa ma da yue ji la su wan di xie zhu dang bi chong a di xiang ka dang din bi mi bo zhong den jie nian ju na xie gu qi su la su ka dang la ma na la su wan di gang jin xin di zu Je Tsongkapa ngu do ri bi wang xiu jie zhe jie dong an din bi da bo ke zhu jie jie bo qian la su wan di jiao sun gun di la ma du jie chang gang la gong di xian nian ci zong nian chu dan ting mo ngu zhu zhen zhen bi zhen jian la ma na la su wan di rang jiang su roi gen lan da ye min ge zang ta ba zhi bin zhong en xiu zai yuan zhi bin da ken zi ba yi sun zai xian nian na la su wan di jie wo gun du yang dan la ma dan zhe min qi ji bi la lu xu jin sa dan lang ji yun den zhou zu nian du ji cheng ge bu nian dou zhu san ji qi dan su ji zhou na la shang qiu bo du da nian jiu su ji da ge qi qi ji bi su na ji da la bin xie sang ji zhu bo zhu sang ji qi dan su ji zhou na la jiang qiu bo du da nian jiu su ji da ge qi qi ji bi su na ji da la bin xie sang ji zhu bo zhu sang ji qi dan su ji zhou na la shang jiu bo du da nian jiu su ji da ge qi qi ji bi su na ji da la bin xie sang ji zhu bo zhu这是的当然是个人去的去今年这个应该是呢说了主要去当家里同胞
So for what purpose we are engaging in the practice of the Dhamma? So this is a question we should always ask to ourselves.
到主要去当的说两家我们结果了你看这里的来吧的呢这里的这个段的嘛吧呢他也比生节堂进了电的话就用哪上呢
So since we ask a question to ourselves, so we need to answer the question, right? So answer this question is that I'm here to receive the teachings of the profound Dharma for achievement of the everlasting happiness for myself and other sentient beings. This is the sole purpose of me being here today, to receive this profound teachings of the Dharma.
나 저랑 이때 경로도 사차 갈을 제거해서나 아니 나대서 콤바티 개체 많이 받체 아니 덤바 투병 보인 된데라체 아니 덤바 투병 볼라 라레지베 라마 있건데 지지.
So now here, when speaking about your being here today to receiving these teachings of the profound Dharma, and we should not think about the place here where you are in right now, or the venue where you are in to receive these teachings of the Dharma, not as this ordinary place, the place where I am right now, but rather imagine that you are being in the presence of the Buddha, who is then surrounded by the lineage gurus of the Lam Rim Chenmo.
인산에 아니 네 소소게 냥들은 양가 소든리 예매데 개체 많이 받체 네 랑게 전제 파마즈베 네 타예비 선제강가 네 랑랑게 강대비 된다는데 렌데여스 지가서 강가이 전년 냥데 제비여스.
So then also, not only that you yourself is being in the presence of those Buddha and surrounded by the lineage gurus of the Lam Rim Chenmo, but you also imagine that you are surrounded by one's, kind parents and all sentient beings, recognizing all sentient beings as your mother, and you are surrounded by entire sentient beings. Just as you have a desire to achieve everlasting happiness, so too all the sentient beings have a similar desire to achieve everlasting happiness or ultimate state of happiness. So with this thought, let's take a couple of minutes to meditate.
야, 다들 지려 주셔. 다들 야마도 만던지죠. 그래요. 당한서 되다. 다들 이 결론 제바지잖아요. 네 당한서 가르쳐 버려서는 소속이 차기 된 거로 와. 근데 차기 때는 간대 된 거래서는 개체터서 내거로 와.
So with this kind of supreme cultivation of motivations, in other words, with this supreme motivation that you have cultivated, and So with these motivations, what will you be doing here? And you should have a plan of having such motivations, cultivating such motivations.
단지 경로 제바나 이제는 딘득이 리버스 태어리 뭐네 딘득이 저와에는 된다 여르베서나 된다 여르 는 가서기 나제 템바샤제도 바다란 페네 아니 리버 다란 예바레네 가서 다란 쇼 송샤여레 세치.
So if I were to follow such motivations, if I were to follow my conduct of such motivations, what kind of result I may gain out of it? Is there any purpose of being able to cultivate such motivations? Then suddenly there is a purpose. Because in the past, Buddha Shakyamuni, who gained state of enlightenment, have cultivated such motivations. As a result, he have gained the state of enlightenment, ultimate state of enlightenment. This is the purpose of, preparing yourself by cultivating appropriate motivations of engaging in the practice of the Dharma.
아니 템바샤제도 그런 찌고래여서는 대마래로 아니 지 루루 통면에서네 소소기 전제자일만 단다 어서기 미통라생이 정원을 원치 라수바기 냥시다 나네 요거도 손데 다 베트 가서 라파는 거는 나셔요로.
So not only the Buddha Shakyamuni alone who have followed this path, but also there are many, numerous great Indian masters, such as Nagarjuna, Asanga, and so forth. And also His Holiness, our present example, the perfect example could be His Holiness the Dalai Lama. All of them have ventured on the similar path, achieved the state of enlightenment. So it is from their experience, they have transmitted those instructions to us through their own experience.
오늘 근디게면 몇지 원하 된데는 몇지지게 계셔시나 언존는 지지는 주는데 맞지 가진상지 많이 봐 면통라생 가서 체내제에게 니 데데 면통라생이 라반네 체내제 자기여로 가서 가서는 유엔도스네 계셔시고 많이 봐 오늘 요거리 하나 간주여에서나 다나 내가랑 미 통해지지.
So those are not just mere simply teachings and the way how we can really, by following such motivations and achieving state of enlightenment as a result, we can clearly see the detailed explanation that is found in the great treatises on the stages of the path to enlightenment, that we, all of us, have this text in front of ourselves on the table. So this is the main source that actually explains by following those paths, what kind of result that one may gain out of following such path.
지 대령은 린서 소속이 나주운동에나 등박이 간대송야래 루루 통에 간대송야래 아니 배 강제 좀 개폐 간대송야래서 메통라생 강갈 단다코노 대여로 제여로.
So all of this, the methods or the skillful means of achieving such a practice, such a result, can be found in the writings of the Buddha, as well as the great masters of the great Indian masters, as well as great Tibetan masters.
어느 가서 된뒤게 되더니 체내 제비가 간대 제고를 살아서나 아니 단지가 속이로와 지 템비 라세나지 많이 봐 아니 경원주 아니 펜바당 아니 차지된 템비고네 아니 체내 제거야 되지.
So then here, if this is the case, if this is this particular text which propounds how to achieve the state of enlightenment, and then how can we really, teach and listen to these teachings? When it comes to this question, and one should either listen to these teachings or to give these teachings to the individual by cultivating appropriate motivations.
나 된대나 딱 오늘 뭐지 간절질은 로고르잖아. 아니 다 뭐지 친이 제트 가르잖아. 아니 자이 사지 집안 해도가.
So here now, how do we really go through the actual teachings of this particular text? Will then be explained from the four outlines of this particular text.
당가서 동벌한지 자와신이 땜비세 때는 로치다 장비린 바 세테니로와 아마 띠띠데레.
So the most important part of the outlines that one need to remember is Lamji Tsawa Shinyin Tenbitsu, which means how to rely on authentic teachers, which is the root which is the root of the spiritual path. So having relied on these authentic teachers, how one can follow the teachings that is given, how one can train one's mind in order to engage oneself into this spiritual path.
대체 당한로긴다. 다 때는 로치다 장유린 발라지 니체. 디데나 님볼렘비시 그어던 님보제달렘비치 니체. 양 동볼라 니체. 랑지 나절랑 님보제다 님볼렘 생어지. 다 동물이자. 다 님볼렘 생어들 송지. 주변진다. 주부 충연 랑제레 마냐스. 주부 충연다 토모연 랑제레 마냐스len스. 주변진다 토모연 주부 쳔비 랑제레 마냐스len스. 다 송방가서 주부 쳔비 랑제레 마냐스len스. 다 주부 쳔비 랑제레 마냐스len스달라니 태첸제 자와 상추 태첸진 요가 상추 생 관나 땜바. 아니 센데 제다 지비치 센진의 쇼발을 호제제. 다 동보텔라야 동보라야 송레 레 가사 너만 동반지차지 랑지 자와신이 가사 대전은 주비 고담바 센진 거송 지차지 다 센진의 말 센데 제다 지비치라 송레 조간라 때네 지치 아니 센지비 림레 센지 장비 림바 아니 센지 가르 조간렌스 인사요 아니 다 되긴 이노네 아니 동보가나 센지 간을 조간라 때세데 다 센장세달라야 니리 진행 명가 대조권의 상주 생장지당 마시 전쟁 가서 다진 여주권의 상주 생장지니리 다트는 동벌라 양대래 렘방이 받자와 당 아니 렘바장 뭐지 다트는 렘바장라 대전제 자와 현재 땜바당 아니 대 가서 전쟁이나 대 전쟁된 로스 아니 가서 대전제나 자와 현재 땜바 시대 아주 사지 타마 아니 대바치면 대전 주비 챔빌랑제 렘발레 되어야살다.
So we're on the stages of the path for the person of great capacity, which teaches about the compassion being the root of Mahayana practice.
대체 다 대전 가서 고추도 가르서는 태첸 바생인데 예매 가다 그래서는 상추선을 다 그래서 태첸이 자와 가르이면 가르래서는 니지 첨보래서 다 되는 건지 그런 거.
So here, one thing that we need to identify what is the root cause of Mahayana. How can one consider oneself as the Mahayana practitioners? So, whether or not one is Mahayana practitioner is whether or not one have actually cultivated bodhicitta or the awakening mind. Sometimes it is translated as awakening mind or the mind of enlightenment as well. And this mind of enlightenment or the awakening mind is coming into being from cultivation of great compassion. In other words, the great compassion is said to be the root cause or the sole cause of generation of bodhicitta. So what is meant by Mahayanan practitioner, in other words, or the great vehicle, the practitioner of the great vehicle, in other words? So the motivation, the sole motivation of the practitioner of the great vehicle is to protect all sentient beings from the suffering. In other words, to overcome the suffering of all other sentient beings. This should be the sole motivations, in other words, the primary motivations to be oneself as a practitioner of Mahayana or the great vehicle.
다 선제 탄식이 된다 제네마도 문징에 대해서 항에 수조고서는 현지 첨비조고 대면징에 돼.
So now what makes us, to really to engage in
제와서는
in the activities of working for the welfare of other sentient beings is what is the driving force behind that, if you were to ask this question, and in great compassion. Compassion forces us to engage in the sort of working for the welfare of other sentient beings.
니 토망의 선제 탄식이 된 제게에서는 제증에 대한 현지 첨보래. 아니 바드 깔려 제증에 대한 현지 첨보래. 다 상제잖아요. 단타 선생이 된 제증에 대한 현지 첨보래. 스테리. 당가서 디카툴라 단다 더도 질러샤에나 능인데 히죠.
So here we're talking about the compassion being important in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end, right? In the beginning, that motivates you to working for the welfare of other sentient beings is happening because of compassion, the cultivation of compassion. And then also in the middle, that when you're actually engaging yourself in the actual actions of the working for the welfare of other sentient beings, is happening due to the cultivation of compassion. At the end, although that you may have gained the state of complete enlightenment, but you're still forced by compassion to working for the welfare of other sentient beings. So therefore, compassion is said to be very important in the beginning, in the middle, at the end.
당가서 배전도다. 얘는 뭔가 가서 가를 타마게 제가 들려서.
타마 니심부 타마게 제다.
타마게 제가 just 쇼간다.
If we're on the page 29, last paragraph, the importance of compassion at the end.
콜레민도아 되는 콜레민도아. 콜민도. 콜지전 되네요. 단로긴다.
So let's go through the text now, okay?
당연히 타마게 제원에서 고대고 수도 배선은 고대고 수제. 타마게 제원에 산데. 상제는 저분이 비체서. 저분이 비체양서. 테메진 쇼와메네바다. 난그 지시된 로이 된제방 현재 전부의 토대에서 되면은 예대다 번지 시대 공연 바발레 손도 되바지요.
Okay, we're going through the text, okay, reading through this text of Lam Rim Chenmo, the importance of the compassion at the end. Based on the power of great compassion, Buddhas, even when they reach their goal, do not abide in the peace like Hinayana practitioners, but continue to work for the welfare of beings as long as space remains. For without compassion, Buddhas would be like a Shervakas. Kamala Shila's second stages of meditation says.
그때도 도도인다 동네 춘추지라고도. 배는 예랑생인데 간제전에 대고 그래서나 예랑세대니 동 뉴리 찬소방인데 도게 녀와시 내신이 대화라 깨발라 소바냐바잖아 되네 선생이 대체 그 말이 라니기 대화 되는 총지잖아.
So now why it says here like a Shervaka and Nyerang, which means the Shervaka and Pratikya Buddhas. So there are two arhats of Hinayanas, or the lower vehicles, arhats of the two arhats of the Lord, two types of the arhats of the lower vehicles. What happened to them is when they, when they gain the freedom from the gross level of mental afflictions, so in other words, or the nyundip, which means obscuration to liberations. When they're able to abandon that obscuration to liberations, they're completely, engaging in the meditation on the peace or nirvana for a long period of time. So they become so immersed themselves in the meditation on the peace or the nirvana, so that they completely forgetting working for the welfare of other sentient beings. So therefore, the example that we have found here is like Sherpaka and Pratyeka Buddhas.
Without compassion, sorry. Nyawashi nyeshin la kepa la soba nyamba jawa de ni sanje na je ni senko ji drai nyanja le lone ni chura tanda randen tashim yo mare je ne pa yushu de randen tanda tashim yo mare sana ni je ne tepa chi belante ne ni sanje sala tigro.
So those arhats, when they're deeply in the meditative equipoise on the nirvana, so then they will be hearing a prediction from the Buddha by saying that it is not sufficient just for you to be able to engage in the meditation, the meditative equipoise for eons, in other words, in the state of peace. Because not only that you have not accomplished working for the welfare of other beings, but you are not even achieved purpose of your own self. Thus, you have to arise yourself, form this meditation and work for the welfare of other sentient beings in order to fulfill the wishes of yourself and all other sentient beings.
다 산제 세디 네 뉘르 pombe dewa manji 시리 pombe dewa 에디 녀랑이 dewa를 잔제 동질에 산제 dewa 채나야 단다 젠데 코나마다 사야메 바데 가레체와레서나 니지 쳔비 토레 송도 니지 쳔비 슈지.
So Buddha is not only liberated from the obscuration to liberations, but also Buddha has liberated him or herself from the obscuration to omniscience. So although that Buddha actually eliminated both of those obscurations and gained the complete state of enlightenment, but Buddha still continued to work for the welfare of other sentient beings. This is happening because of the cultivation of the unconditional compassion for all of the sentient beings. Compassion is the one that actually enables Buddha to work for the welfare of other sentient beings.
Je Tsongkapa yonsu sembe na sanje chanden de na rangi tuen pisun choba tada nye jang senjen je kan tatu ki bad shuban ze to xie dang.
So then here it says, Kamalachula's second stages of meditation says, since the Bhagwan or the Buddhas are imbued with the great compassion, they remain until the end of realm, in which being still, and when even though they have attained the complete perfection of their own aims.
Kan tatu se de senje tangje zobe sanje je sa leso na senje kan te tatu ro ra. Tatu ba de jo man ze so te pe chen de gen ji sa ko de do. Tang lo wen da xie dang ji. Jiang de de na ji mene bi nyang ye len de bi ju ne ni je chen bo ni yin no xie so son de.
And also, the sole cause of non-abiding nirvana of the Bhagwan is the great compassion. So non-abiding nirvana is a state of complete enlightenment.
다 니지 첨부 가서 산제 장대에 메네비 냥엘에 대비 주도 니지 첨부래. 니지 첨부 메네 테바 첨비 제일 지금 말와. 대체 제일 맞는 시리방이 것도 조금만 예디나기 가서 니라나기 차로라.
So non-abiding nirvana, as we talked about earlier, it is the complete state of enlightenment. It's a Buddhahood, and without abandoning those two obscurations, obscuration of liberation and obscuration to liberation, obscuration to omniscience, will not be able to achieve state of enlightenment. Without gaining the state of enlightenment, you will not be able to work for the welfare of other sentient beings. And so, in order to overcome those two obscurations, one must first become oneself as a practitioner of Mahayana. In order to become oneself as a practitioner of Mahayana, one must begin one's practice from cultivation of great compassion.
던지기 산나동 어디 테바침보세디 주타치 개체레면도 로아 나츠지 나 테바침보 인세기 제네 츠여친지면도 니지 첨보지 냥내 맞아와이나
So therefore, when speaking about the great vehicle or the Mahayana vehicle, in other words, we're not speaking mere, the philosophical term. Here, we're talking about what the, Mahayanan or the non-Mahayanans is made on the basis of whether or not the individual has cultivated great compassion.
Tisun gaza nambi chuta nolo la tindri kecha mashi na nga tsu techen bari koson teme bari se kecha te iwa she tonde jun rigi mendua nga tsui ji lomba chi iwan jibi son ji re mendua.
It is not Mahayanan and non-Mahayanan or the Hinayanans. It's not based on the place where the individuals are dwelling.
Pena sa tatele sewa toa she so chi. Pena sa loto la Thomas Saben tans padu chulu mar padu chutan chi. Tama memba kecha wa tas to deva pet chi lo she da pet ko de.
So then he just the glorious Chandrakriti taught that just as seeds, water, and ripening are important in the beginning, middle, and end of the harvest, similarly, compassion is important in the beginning, middle, and end of the harvest of the Buddhahood.
Pena loto pyeson soba jongwa la thoma kar gore sala so na dombo saben goro ba de chile goro ta nga so gen rebon lo she de ro.
So in order to have abundant harvest, first important part is to need a seed. Then it needs, in order to germinate, sprout from that seed, it needs moistures and perfect soil. With this combination, will give rise to the perfect harvest.
De chi to ta chi sanje je lo to la sa thon ta ba song de ge che yuan ni ji yin ba pa den da wa tra be song de kan shi zhe ni je yu long do pin song de sa ben ta ne be la chen de yu yin de long she ne la men ba ta ben de jum de she da ge thon ma ni ji de ba ji she so song de.
So here it says, Chandrakriti has stated in his commentary on the middle way, or the Madhyamaka Avatara states, compassion alone is regarded as a seed of conquerors, or seed of Buddhas, in other words, excellent harvest, conquers excellent harvest, as water for its development, and as a maturation in the state of long enjoyment. Therefore, at the beginning, I praise compassion.
Tangone tone yi ta gombo lutu ge jela se gora ta pa den dawa chaba na yi ngene pe mare se na ding he den re do shu ji be kya pa da ta jin ha le ji re do ma zo pe cha na yo da chen nge kha sen chi la yi ba pa den dawa chaba se na na la nyin da ni sa la se wa na ni sen la gu do pa den dawa chaba yi si se da kar sa dren se ni ha le ji re do ne la ba de je ro mo chen la ne chedene paden gombo ludu ge tawa ten la pepe tenda ani gombo karsa paden tawa tabala longten sha jo tande re do zabelni del omi tawa ten la pepa
Longten gente.
longten sanje ye ben chedene ne gombo ludu ge tawa ten la penge chingu paden tawa tabala pegre sen longten sha so do.
So this, the Chandrakriti, the great Indian master, the Chandrakriti is said to be one of the most supreme, scholars. In other words, the great scholars among all the scholars of the Tibetan, the Indian masters at his time, and in fact, there are two texts that is composed by Chandrakriti, said to be like a moon and a sun. And one is, one of this is, the famous text is called Sikse, which means a clear word. And then one is the Donsel, and clear lamp. So there are two different, famous texts composed by Chandrakriti to actually to comment it, to give a clear explanation of the writings of Nagarjuna. It is Buddha's prophecy that in the future.
Jirimbochi Omi Tawa Gang Yansen Gang and then Omi Tawa de Jin yet took him to Takarin as an Japan la Shudi, and in Japan, any Kasa, John Chembola Loja Chesho, Sosa Dujan Chesson, John Chemo Kala Tago said any Jagajon, Jagajon Mombono Tina Karel Tago said any, Paden Dawata Bijona Tashos, said so and down, Tenedua. And Paden Dawata Bane any San Jindo, and in Gobolu to get Tawatela Pepan Zabelin.
So here, Lama Tsongkapa was also able to actualize his perfect view of middle way. The view of middle way by relying upon the writings of the Chandrakriti. It is when Lama Tsongkapa encountered his spiritual master of Manjushri, and as soon as Lama Tsongkapa, had a vivid vision of Manjushri, Lama Tsongkapa asked a question to Manjushri that, how can I actually, realize the perfect view of middle way in the Madhyamaka's viewpoint? And Manjushri replied by saying, you must first engage in the practice of accumulation of merits and accumulation of insights, which then be followed by the studies of the great Indian masters' writings, such as Chandrakriti's writing and so forth. So it is based on following the instructions of Manjushri. Lama Tsongkapa relied upon such texts and said to be actualized this perfect view of middle way.
Chedadena, Jean de Omanjuba said, Jean de Zotena, Denesonjan Terra, so Karsa, Mubi Denero. Mubi Denelo Moncha, the Sherry Latandola, Toba Pegoreda, and Paden Dawata, the Nijichambo, the Kechawa in the Jinsensation, and Nijichambo, Tesha Zevatarendo.
This Madhyamaka the text Madhyamaka or Umajupa, which engaging in the text, what is called the engaging in the text engaging in the middle way or the Madhyamaka, belongs to the category of the Wisdom Sutra and Wisdom Pitaka. Normally, whichever the text that belongs to the Wisdom Pitaka, it should begin with making a salutation to Manjushri. However, in this particular text, although it belongs to the Pitaka, Wisdom Pitaka, but Chandrakriti, deliberately make a salutation not to Manjushri, but to compassion. Compassion is the first verse, which is the salutation verse. The Chandrakriti makes salutation to compassion.
So the Omanjuba says on China Omanjubi, Omanjuba says, Umate Zawashira and Jubate, the in Jebachene. Tenisiudo, Colin Juice Omatel, Jean Shina, Zawashira in Jeparan Chagri. Zawashira, the Jetumba in Jebachian, Chichilia Tusun, Sheshin, Dodino Muchin Jebarita.
So the Umajuba, which is the Madhyamaka is explanation, is a commentary of the Zawashira, which is Madhyamaka Mula Karika. And the Madhyamaka Mula Karika is explanation of the 8,000 perfection sutra, or you could say the wisdom sutra.
Dindugi ko Kechambo Chian, and the Kechambo de Natsongi Karza Kepachi, Noje de Sonsha Maimba, Natsongi, Jensen Anaton, Donna, Toying, Roa, Kibet Noji, Jen, and Jebache, but Kasa, Donna never shuji. So
it is not just text by saying that such and such is said by such and such masters and so forth. But rather, when you look at those texts, the writings of the great Indian masters, they are always followed by the reasonings. There are always a rationale behind whatever they have written. It's not meaningless, or it has no reasoning behind their writings. You will always find a rationale behind their writings.
상제주 최탄제 대이 라틴의 치바 라소서 치치부 간세나 데이터데 니지 쳔보 소도 될.
So here it says now, with this powerful idea in view, the compendium of the Teaching Sutra, Dharma Samadhi Sutra says, Bhagavan Bodhisattvas should not learn many teachings, but when a bodhisattva grasp and know one teachings, they will have all of the Buddha's teachings in the palm of their hand. What is this one teaching? It is great compassion.
되게 내가 가도 그래서는 가서 현지 전부터 대바침에 싸워서인 봐. 싸워야 보여나 야가 던져버 로마 용으로 로마 던져버.
So this being the great compassion being a root of our practice of Mahayana Dhamma. So long as you have a good root, and healthy root, and there's a possibility of coming into being the leaves and fruits and so forth.
인조로이다. 전된데서 현지 첨부의 상제지 최탕지 상 최탕지 말에 상제지 최탕지 상추 선반나제 라티데 제바 라소 점된데 빼나 말에 빼지나 콜로지위 잡고 콜로름보치 강도 치바데 봉게 초탕지 제오 전된데서 대전도 상추 선비 현지 첨부 강도 치바데 상제지 최탕지 제오 전된데 빼나 소견 엄보치나 엄보젠 안자 치원 조로 장된데 대제된 현지 정보치나 상추선비 최탄 최난장 종원 조로 세송소 송도.
So Bhagavan, with great compassion, all the Buddha's teachings are in the Bodhisattva's palm. For example, Bhagavan, wherever the precious will of universal sovereign is, they are also in the assembly of the battalions. Likewise, Bhagavan, wherever the Bodhisattva's great compassion is, there are all the Buddha's teachings. For example, Bhagavan, once there is a life force, all of the sensory faculties will exist. But when similarly, once great compassion exists, all other Bodhisattva's quality will appear.
배장도와 변의 소경 엄보에나 가서 개처로 왔다. 주번들로 소경 엄보 대소원이나 메디기래가 레바 제거로 개치셔고. 소경 엄보 가는데 시선세 단위 제거로.
So let's take here the life force is taken as an example. If there's a life force and the person can move and the systems of the person, the system of the body of the individual can be functions. And if the life force is seized, then like all those limbs and the part of the body systems will be seized.
대전도 다 상추 선박이 최탕치 레드멜레 콜요드면 다서기 문제 소저서 된 현지 전부 강선도 미도.
Similarly, whether or not that you have the practice of the Bodhisattvas, the practice of the Mahayanas, entirely depends upon whether you have cultivated this great compassion. Great compassion serves as a life force, or life force for the development of the Mahayana practice.
long taya bata ripe chupan de tabla ngepa nyanane shanchu senje tsawa nije tang jebi chogol dambi chod ji shemen zen song de.
Once you become convinced that compassion is the excellent key to the path through such proof, arisen and limitless scriptures, why would you not hold the spirit of enlightenment together with its root compassion to be the supreme instructions?
Sanje shendo ninde bewa yi rogun nanda shin la shubo yo ye dang guru rang mi de lang na yan da ya mi jiang der. Ya. Shanchu ki sen da nyi ji sen ye de lang jin ne tambare sero. Lanchi ne tamba yinba de long da ripa nyinga ki go ne dhugu res.
So, the compassion and the bodhicitta is said to be the soul of all the spiritual path, Mahayana spiritual path, in other words. And it is also known as the supreme path. And this is, established by both scriptural and the reasonings.
Tinduki nenga chi shesuwa yana shanchu ki sen dang niji chenpo la tsa chesho de menzing ya suyo re sarwa. Ji ishe na tsa chewa menzing.
So therefore it says, once you become convinced and compassion is excellent key to the path through such proof as risen and limitless scriptures, why would you not hold the spirit of enlightenment together with its root compassion to be the supreme instructions?
That's chosu tenyu yana nenga chenpo tsi re re tan tongsu na tas jada yana 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 la deji lo yun de ta de tong de lang sang ngo ye che re de ya bo re chosu.
So you can highlight those, essential points. The point are very important points. You can highlight that, and then later, not only just simply reading, but try to look at the highlighted ones, and then try to contemplate on the meaning of the lines that you have highlighted.
Ngazu ceni bata se ki gyalten de long de ripala jate me wa yana ni ceni bata ki langa yo mare.
So for the this individual who is actually studying the Buddhist philosophy, or the Tsingyipa, which is engaging in the debate of the Tibetan Buddha Dharma, those who lacks those the supporting factor of scriptural knowledge as well as the reasonings, then such individual will not be able to find the path to debate or to study the philosophy, Buddhist philosophy.
Tena shan tanchung tenbes akadami lama isaro tenbes chola danga shujang jeten lo tong shanchu ji sen gang shawa le myung sheba las geshe tenbe chine de juyi danga ki ti shunga la sonde chuje ne chenpa yino sonto diri.
The teacher, Xiang Nachung Tongpa, said, even though I asked for the instruction from the great elder, referring to Atisha, Devamgara Shirijana, and then he said, nothing except renounce the world, cultivate the spirit of enlightenment. Upon hearing this, Geshe Dom Tongpa, or the Domten Gevijuni, was embarrassed for him, and said, you received the great elders' ultimate instructions. Geshe Dumdamba understood the core of the teaching.
당가서 드리케시에데 조지 바데아데샤사나 가서게 베비 손질라 가지 주젠선 난len 저진 벤트다 가제게 주기 젠트 제바르 송으로 딘드기 케바 첨보질라 아니 샹추 세 강레제 소에 메와이나 따테 가르제네 세는 가서기 지 도바제거로.
So here now, it is if you look at this particular paragraph, it's just really it's a telling. It really explains you how important the cultivation of this bodhicitta. Because Atisha has stated there's no other important instructions or important practice other than bodhicitta or the great compassion. Atisha is said to be the Tsugen, which is the crown jewel of 500 Pandits of India at that time in Nalinda. So such a renowned, great masters would say that the instructions of the cultivation of bodhicitta is said to be the supreme among all the instructions.
나초기 용 계셔면시야 저 소소를 카지로에나 땅은에 존나 상추기 생거 마존나 상추기 센세 되지만 라마서 로 대지고 제셔서는 선제기에 손샤 조제기에 손샤니 다 지체는 때마도 문도와세 러징아서 제로 제나다 라반 때마도 maybe 손 차소.
So then to us is look at ourselves, look inward and to ask question to ourselves. Since both Buddha and also the great Indian masters, Atisha has stated that there's no other important instructions, ultimate instruction than the bodhicitta. So then if you really think about in this way, you will also realize that for me too, there's no other instruction, important instructions or the supreme instruction than the instruction of bodhicitta.
네 제바이노 녜빠 온데 코나 가외에서 양도 사장당 동복고발라 수비 손로 gond레나라 때나 녜빠 템보 제거데 때네 녜빠 좀 제거데 바데마 코치 추지 투니 럼보치 조비 상추 사벤데 배추 코네 니보치 대신 주유 민지 시송바 따로 송도.
This conviction is very difficult to achieve. So you must seek a stable and certain knowledge by repeatedly clearing away sins and accumulating merits and reading scriptures such as Arya Stuck Sutra and the commentaries. The glorious Mechita praised in 150 verse. Sada Panchakata Sutra says, only you, O hero Buddha, know your precious spirits, the seat of perfect enlightenment, to be the quintessence. No one else can reach this certainty.
이제 코낭이 번예바가 양도한테 사장책으로서 빼면서 내가 전부가 라바도 가서 레동보 얻어서 아니 시주된 정보 차원로 사장이 제거 빼면서 개첨보 이러와.
So here it says it is very important to it's important to engage in the practice of repeatedly clearing away sins, which means a confession practice, or the purifying one's negativities. That is what is meant by clearing away sins here. The sins you're referring to, the negativities that we have committed, right? This need to be cleansed and then accumulating merits. So without accumulating merits and without purifying one's negativities, It is not easy for us to really to engage in such a practice, because you will not be able to, train your continuum or train your mind without engaging in the practice of accumulation and purification.
Tēnhī jēngē jēngē nā, nī shāngchū yu sēndā nī jī kōla lō zhōng jē, gāng jē, nī tsū hīn sētā nā yōng lā dīmī gō nā sā jāng jē, tēndrē sōng jē jē nā rō gō dō.
So then if one is really a serious practitioner of the bodhicitta, one should then, listen to the teachings of the bodhicitta, contemplate on the meaning of the bodhicitta and meditate on the bodhicitta. This should be done on the basis of practicing, engaging in the practice of engaging in the 7 limb practices, in combination of visualizing mirrored fields. In the presence of the mirrored field, one then engages in the 7 limb practice. Engage in the practice 7 limb practices. Sorry.
Diwo yu sholo kade shangchu ji sen tang jebi gone domba tu byong bola doba piye ren do. Ani domba che ji tu ji shangchu ge sen ro che de zobe sanje ge saben re. Ani de yinba de sanje chera rang song sha chen sha ma do de le chen ba ji yo ba ma re chen ba ma re song do. Ko de bo shen na.
Ogi de.
O yi sholo ka ji do. Chu ji tu ne ro bo che se de. Be de ma ku ji. Oh,
less. So the stanza that we read earlier, only you, O Hero Buddha, know your precious spirits. It is the Sangye Marku who actually, praise Buddha Shakyamuni. It's the verse that praises Buddha Shakyamuni.
시쇼 비상에서 땡데 때만 지선하라. 예ring여데 시시전은 몇 번이었어. 선제기 땜발은 중에 선제기 땜발에 슈르드 집이게 대원되는 레카 가르쳐샤이나 주연데 소속이 직계 동비 소리지만도 주연데 세가 말해 소하라.
So in the Lama Tsongkhapa's the praise to dependent originations, where he stated that those who engages in certain practices to achieve happiness seems bringing more suffering than happiness, because without knowing what really give rise to happiness and what's really give rise to sufferings.
내가서 간다하고 그래 옛날에 저기 가빠지를 손지 말으러 나쪽이 제원에 처러던지 단답도 수수 대원 되네 내가 제래다 단답을 대와 땡케바지 해면도.
So here now we're not really criticizing the others who are unable to understand what is the causes and condition of suffering and what's cause and condition of happiness. We're really here, we're talking about the fact here. The fact that is because we all long to achieve happiness from the beginningless time up until now. Although that we long to achieve happiness from the beginningless time up until now, we haven't been able to achieve happiness that we long to achieve. Why this is happening? This is a question that we should always ask to ourselves.
이름부 다른 시시전은 몇 번째 세트로 가서 이름부 다간지 깔레잖아요. 되비 대화는 문제비 동행 용바데 아니 레가지 노더로.
So for a long period of time that we have put a lot of efforts, lot of efforts to achieve happiness. But this is yet at the same time we're unable to achieve that happiness that we long to achieve, isn't it? Why this is happening? There's something wrong. We're not doing something that is appropriate, something that really becomes a causes and condition for giving rise to happiness.
가름 말이 좀 알았잖아. 진짜도 상주기 셈가 가지고 아니 찍고 대서체 아니 대일레칼 노들이대.
So what happened to us? What really, prevents us from achieving happiness that we wish to achieve, right? It's because it's lack of compassion, the practice of compassion and love. Because it is why we are lacking is because of self-cherishing mind. The self-cherishing mind is the one that prevents us from engaging and cultivating a genuine love and compassion. So all those misfortune befalling us is because of my, mine, I, and so forth, such as my country, my hometown, my relative, and so forth. It is due to too much emphasis on my, mine, and I, really prevents us from cultivating a great compassion. No one else can reach this certainty. So now we're going to this how the 6 other personal instructions are either cause or the effect of compassion. So out of those 7 cause and effect instructions, on which are the causes of compassion? So that is what we're going to describe later. So now we need to meditate on compassion, right? When you are saying that I would like to meditate on compassion, so we need to have a proper sequence of meditating on compassion in order to engage in the practice of meditation on compassion. To follow the orderly manner, we need to rely upon authentic texts, which teaches us how to engage in the practice of meditation on compassion in orderly manner.
Lode Jelhawa dang shu traba dang tembo jebala ne hondo senje de yude won shin jel pambi namba jinshi gode song tereta.
So how to the explanation of how the 6 other personal instructions are either cause of the effects of compassion has 2 parts. How the first 4 personal instructions, recognition of all living beings as your mothers through the development of love, act as cause of compassion. How wholehearted resolve and the spirit of enlightenment are the effects of compassion. How the first 4 personal instructions, recognition of all living beings as your mothers through the development of love, act as a cause of compassion. In general, if you repeatedly consider the suffering of living beings, you of course develop a simple desire to free from sufferings. However, to develop this attitude easily and strongly and firmly, you must first cherish these beings and have affection for them.
아미 드인데 드네 아미 드네도 소고르세지 아니 아미 드네도 소데 아니 아말레 샴바다 니 가사 이동이 샴바데 제거 대접보더다
So which are the causes of compassion here, the great compassion? There are four, causes and conditions of compassion here. First, one must have a recognition of all sentient beings as one's mother, Masheva. And having recognized all sentient beings as one's mother, Jindempa, one must, remember the kindness of all sentient beings. Be mindful of the kindness of all mother sentient beings. Then not only that you are being remembering the kindness of their mother sentient beings, but you should have a strong determination to repay their kindness. Is the third, repaying the kindness. Would this then be followed by the cultivation of heartwarming love? It is Yongi Champa, which is heartwarming love towards all other sentient beings. Those four are said to be the causes of compassion.
되지. 그거 되지. 오늘 단단 가족이 따서 가족 단단 따당 간의 지열에 sel어나 데려다 딘다. 녀라 동해 쇼나 로기다. 단단 가족이 따당 지열어. 단단 가족이라지. 녀라 동해 쇼나 무저라지. 달라 동해 쇼나 가신지. 다니 바마라 동해 쇼나 피치 여와 도비 땅녀스 제와 제노서 데려. 단단 가족이 내다.
So what kind of attitude that we have at this point? We as ordinary beings. For at present, it says, you cannot bear for your friends to suffer. You are pleased with your enemies' suffering, and you are indifferent to the suffering of the person towards whom you have neutral feelings, who are neither enemies nor friends. So this is the, mental attitude that we have at this point.
따티 진센데도 이제 너지. 델로 동보 내서 이 두바 여변이라 하지. 로. 대양사 지정 제바 대정제 동해를 무저바 제와 대정제 대에서 제바 충진라 아니 무저바 충진 레 가서 충라서 신대제나 동해 참모라요 무저바 첨부 제와 땅에 소서 진세 신체들 무저비 동해 제급이 진생 가르리 살아와이나.
So now here says you have the first attitude because you are fond of your friends and commensurate with your cherishing of them, and you cannot bear for them to suffer. When you cherish the friends to a small or the medium degree, you are only able to bear their suffering slightly. When you cherish friends a great deal, you clearly cannot bear for them to suffer at all, even they suffer just a little.
단 도되는 강라 째와쳐서 대기 동해의 요소나 소속이 대기 동해 세야디 터들은 배거리 라니라지 동해 용어를 세지로.
So here it's our way of wishing or working for the welfare of other sentient beings, and it is always how you related to these individuals. If you have a more sense of connectedness and sense of caring for the individuals, you will not be able to bear their sufferings. Even the slight sufferings, you are unable to bear their sufferings.
다 달라 동해 토나 전대 매제와 마세 다동양 치 델레체와 다 대당 마데나 냠바 제와네 이도 모에 렌라지 대야 이도 명와 슈체숑게 동해 쇼와라 가와 슈체숑조로 손들.
So here it says, when you see enemy suffer, not only do you not develop a desire to free them from it, but you also think, may they not be free from suffering and suffer even more. This is due to your lack of affection for them. Your lack of affection for enemy is commensurate with their pleasure at their suffering.
당가 손라데 텐데 메가 다데 간제데 슈치 여지 마르마도 메가 사던데 슈청보 여서 달라 다가랑 용고 여서로.
So yeah, although we may do not have such an individual that we may always wish suffering upon them, but this happens to human beings. There are many who has consider that person as an ultimate enemy and always wishing suffering upon them.
다도 다녀 밤을 당가 손데리 가손 되고 되도 다녀 밤에 동해라 무저방 매발라 가와 매반에 이동 뭐 가요 매변 레노 소리.
So here, being neither unable to bear nor pleased with the suffering of the person towards whom you have neutral feeling, result from your having neither affection nor lack of affection for them.
다 됐을 때 가서 년용이 돈 세보 세장에 가서 젠다파 유쇼데 총산의 계시 생기니나 소소 논생이 몇지 다셔서 되지. 양 소소 먹어서 지다해서 양 롱바 젠다 되잖아. 로렌토 만다와지 송체그래. 대단 가서 년용 코로네요.
So it is, we can, this can be explained by our own experience, right? If someone had some tragedies, someone who is close to yourself or your relatives and so forth, then you cannot bear the suffering of that individuals. If someone whom you do not, whom you dislike, have going through those, bad situation and so forth, and you, not only that you have, wish to overcome their suffering, but also you wish, suffer even more. And then you have someone who have no connection, that you just hear that something happened to that person, something tragedy happened to that person, and that makes no difference to you. So this is the three kinds of mental attitude we always have in us.
당가서 가르고선 로렌토 냥바지 도고래. 렌토 냥원노기 야쇼데 가르세나 아니 동해라 메저 녜라 동해 통소나 델레 메저베 로치에 진도와. 대가서 강갈라 다녀 밤마 송갈이 요지고고.
So now we have those, uneven mental attitude that we have in us. Three kinds of uneven, we talked about that earlier. Now we should have an even mental attitude. How we can, cultivate this even mental attitude. Or it is, one could also say, the equanimity towards all beings. How we can really cultivate a sense of caring and sense of connectedness towards all other sentient beings, having a wish to overcome suffering of all other sentient beings, regardless of who they are.
달로긴다 세고 쉬우용도 대다시나사 선진예도 로긴다. 대다시나사 선진예도 간반에 이도 영혼제비 체인라제. 니제 타투반에 마인베 마간바 당 대이 진진바 진조소네 이도 원신 제버 주제인라 손도들. 알레 도무티 가마들로 하잖아요. 다.
Consequently, in order to have affection for living beings, cultivate the view that they are close to you, like friends or relatives. Since your mother is a close person to you, cultivate the recognition of all beings as your mothers.
됐지. 또 타투바네 얘기 타투바 생인데 소소 마대로 왔다. 시험 그렇다로.
So the most the affection that you have towards your relative is your mother among all relatives.
됐지. 아니 인산에 마셰지 전전지 전소 손번에 아니 이동한테 두제레스 제신 방비 용이 넘버 차와라. 근데 아니 소소 많이 받을 손번 흔도 로거를 son다.
So in order to cultivate heartwarming love, the above three mental states need to be cultivated, such as recognition of all other sentient beings as one's mother, and remembering the kindness of all mother sentient beings, and repaying their kindness. So these three are said to be the contributory factor of establishing the cultivation of establishing the heartwarming love.
대체 당가서 내려봐 제바시는데 쉬우지 제바시가 저거래 선자타제 많이 봐 간데 두고래 살아서나 아니 소소기 제와라 토마메 두고 뭐
So now here, there are a lot of explanation can be followed in this particular, on the instructions of this cause and effect instructions. First of all, how can we recognize all sentient beings as one's mother? That is the first question. And when you ask this questions, then the life, after death, or the future life and the previous lives are coming into picture. So without touching that, we will not be able to cultivate recognition of all other sentient beings as one's mother.
마다 버긴 대화생인데 저항하시 계절어 아무래 저할래면 계절어.
So then the connection between the mother and the child is we're touching the carnation, reincarnation, isn't it?
다 저와세디 양 저항하시 계시고로.
So when he talks about the reincarnation, we're talking about ngachi, the previous life and future life. In order to understand the life, previous life and future life, one must know the actual mode of existence of this particular, psychophysical aggregate. So our physical body possesses what we call the form, or the body, and the consciousness or the mind. So then the next what we need to understand is now here, is there any so-called mind exists within our body, psychophysical aggregates, which is, beyond our physical body, the consciousness of the mind. So if you only think that that's in this psychophysical aggregates, there's only existence of the flesh, blood, channels, wind, and drops. Mm-hmm. This is the only thing that is possessed by our psychophysical aggregates. Then it is not necessary for us to believe in, past life and future life.
다 딘드기 단다 제나 가이나 때 단다 가서 지때 타냐를 시선세디 주포된 야당 대가나 요르고 로 주포의 시선세베 타냐잖아요 주비 그러가나 잔론틸레 차롱 찬소데 되어요.
So although that if individual is clinically proven as a dead person, but then their wind and and channels, bloods and the flashes or still exist within the continuum or within the psychophysical aggregate of the individual.
다 오나 텔레 젬베기 레파시 치고기 레가 제거를 라와이나 로 레비 치고 세거로 레비 레가 젠도레 라와이나 자다 롱이 노로라.
그러면 계속나 세부 좀 보세요.
당 주보 기초 동안에 레파 치고기 제거를 라와이나.
So if we were to believe, then this is our functions of the body and limbs are mere the functions of the brain. This is a question again.
다 딘디지고 이나 당가 수정하시 중 계시셔서나 주본되게 내단을 10%의 지명화이나 주보 소신 동안 된다라면 또 소신진의这个 말이었어. 그 자롱도 차대하고 소는这个是되게 해설해요. 그래서 레발
So if this is the case, then our body doesn't need any need to go through learning of any knowledge. Because if this is only the functions of the brain and channels and the wind and the drop.
당 간지 던리 계시시마 다도 간지 디송 체리바다 나셔데 돈이 뭐버체 유디 간지 체리바에 차다 롱레 셴바기 제지여 바지 셰고도 셰고를 송도 다 텔레 셰바스베 타니 제메제레마도 텔레 셴비 제지여 바스 무세전 셴도.
So although that the scientists would not really believe there's or consciousness, they do not really believe in the existence of the consciousness. They're still, but they have certain understanding of some kind of substances beyond the physical substances or material substances. There's something that is beyond, material or the physical substances.
라바도 대선 수봇 코든 저와 명예게 니 저항하시 잠바 생각도 레가 뭐뭐 지 양생이 레가 뭐뭐 수위체 연지 다 메통 라생 중요도.
So it is proven by many individuals, about recalling their past life and their past life activities and so forth. It is pretty evident to all of us.
다 간지 된되게 계시시오데 다원나 시바생에 지어나 시바데 수유 시바데 파메 된조레베 아니 시바데 가능요조를 계시시소나 아니 시바데로 토메 타요 말았어. 시바도 토메 타면은 저걸로 토메 타메 봐. 저걸로 토메 타면은 아니 파마 토만 대제레 파만 대레세는 파메기 장가지는 명예지. 다 장가면은 다니 신진 파마 제문용의 명예지 주에 다 리페트 루도 그래도.
So then, when speaking about consciousness here, so who created this consciousness? Who has given the consciousness to us here? And consciousness is not given by one's parents, isn't it? Consciousness exists from the beginningless time. It has no beginning. The consciousness has no beginning. With this understanding of not having no beginning of consciousness, we can establish the beginningless of one's own life. So, if one is able to establish a beginningless of one's life, then one will be able to establish the countless parents, in other words, the countless mothers. If one is able to establish a countless mothers, one will not be able to find a single sentient being who has not been one's own mother in one's past. So this is the reasoning through what you are able to establish the all sentient beings as one's own mother, the recognition of all sentient beings as one's mother.
다 파마 렌치 제바만제 파마 제바야 하나 장주 매초도 세치지. 신지지기죠.
So even the one sentient beings, not only that they have been one sentient being, he or she has been one's own mother in the past, but there have been numerous times. There's no, it is countless times. In other words, the countless time they have been one's mother for one's past lives.
다 아마 제비가나 아메 텐지 장발에 다 진에 가딘데라 페치 제제투에지 말해.
We cannot fathom that the mother's kindness, how much the kindness the mother renders towards us. It is beyond, it is inconceivable for us when we think about the kindness of one's mother, isn't it?
아니 파미 텐지 장에나 쳇리 파미 텐지 뭐 임바나기 저항함이 파마에 지바지장 텐지 장와레스. 근데 빼나 달로 텐지 장바다 나니 텐지 장반 시바치 잘면도 데메디 다 선제 탕지 아니 젠젠마고 지면도 세치지.
So
텐텐제로 네 선제 탕지 니 파마 제비가라 파미 텐지 장바들 니 시에드 메베제로 니 대양 선제 지 쳇디 텐지 장바나 이게니 저항하마 나기 대린 제바다 달로 나니데 달로 빼대자.
just as once the present parents, particularly a mother, have been kind to oneself, so too all other mothers in the past have been kind to oneself. In many different ways, they have been kind to oneself. So therefore, it is a different in terms of rendering their assistance towards us in a different time. But so long as the nature of their kindness that is rendered towards us, it's the same. Just like a mother who has helped us last year and who is helping us right now, has no difference, isn't it? If you're able to recognize how kind those parents were to us, then we need to think of repay their kindness, isn't it? How do we repay their kindness? Is to fulfill their wishes. Their wishes is to overcome suffering and achieve happiness. That is what we need to fulfill. So this particular passage that we really need to read through and then think carefully, because it really enables us to understand that how important it is for us to think about all beings as one's own mothers, and how relevant it is for us to think about the lines of seven cause and effect.
제바 셰도지 대화던 trende다 샹 trende지 샹바당 니제라 동해 에메르 가사 니제라 젠제쟁에 바 민항어 진지지 대나 마시 소지 미바소네 대화던 trende지 샹바당 동해다 trende지 니제 니기 젠하에 델람베 고소 센제 제위 주르 센제나 녜더 강 반데네 로벤 다와 잡아던 젠저 고메 가사 쯤반 다와다 로벤 까마 라실라나 지시에도 송도 대박질로 하는 자소.
So also recollect their kindness as your mothers and develop the wish to repay their kindness. These three steps are how you learn to cherish and have affection for living beings. The result of these three steps is love that consider living beings to be beloved, and just as a mother consider her only child. So this love gives rise to compassion. The causal relationship between compassion and the love that is the wish for being to have happiness is not definite. There's three objectives: recognizing all beings as your mothers, recollecting their kindness, and wishing to repay their kindness are the basis for the both love and wishes being to have happiness, and compassion that wishes them to free from suffering. So you must make effort to cultivate these three. The masters Chandrakriti, Chandragomi, and Kamalashila explained the cultivating the view that living beings are your friends or the relative is cause of the developing the spirit of enlightenment.
당가서 저 토마멤바네 단다바도 간이 농치 쇼샤잖아. 아니 선제 탕지게 편바만 주어지. 아니 ndöbi dewa de meyo aje ndöbi donghe chongchong yonde de ngone 농치 쇼샤. 단에 선제 탕지라 아니 저완지 첨부터 주고도 아니 대 June, ni te gang, te jila chene, ni sanje tangche, ni tende dewachi, ngepa don go to wachi chege yin, go to baya, dina shube, lamana je, shinja lauto su sena, ni homa de malani gachada.
So let's do the dedication prayers by, for dedicating your mind by saying that up right from the beginning last time up until now, I haven't been able to achieve the happiness and haven't been able to, providing happiness towards all other sentient beings as I wished. And it is due to the lack of cultivation of love and compassion for all other sentient beings. So from now on, I will do my best to engage in the practice of cultivating compassion and love for all other sentient beings, establishing all sentient beings to the state of everlasting happiness. And may all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of oneself or in the 10 directions bless me to be able to do this.
Dāngi chīnyī sābī gyāvāndi tētān chōvā kīnlā kāmbī tāng chāvā jūsā lōsāng chāvā yī tēmbī nīmbō rīndō sēchē shō bēchē shōshē miendō chāng rē rō līngchē nyēndē jēmbā dē sāngchē shēndō miendē bēwā yē rōgyē nāndā shēnlā shūbā shō Nyando yanda lama dan jeme chuje bela lo shuje sadan lanje yede razo ne doje change gobo nyado jo guru ran mene lagan yanda yame Rindo bele sonye ne kodo yambo kanshi sabade lomi mare kedon jowa na nanjen jaye ombo dajo ji tema sunbe tsero gyundo yang jambe yangju tsewe jezo ne Tenbe rinpa gyunsang langje cho Nyene zhubi jenang nye she sho Rangye chi jen dobi langje ne Shu zha tsewe zhangye tage che Zho yue yue zhe minpa se che ne Denpa yu rin sin ju chi, denpa rin chen cho ge man cha pa, cha chan nyam pa chu bi shu de ne, jin ju chen bu yi ra chu pa yi, pin di de de se wa xe pa shu, se jin jia yi min shu chen le le, le zhu xiang chu lang zhe rin bi chang, tan de nang zhe yi la bei de xin, jia yue zi ba rin du chung ju ji, lang zang zhu bi tian jin zhu xie jin, ge jin si ji mu dang mi mi gen, se ra gun du jia yue gang ba yi, nang na lang dang zhe wa ma ju ji, gang zi te ba chu la chu xie ji, su jin zhu la zun ba de yue zi, tu de nang ju da du zhu xie jin, zha xie jiang si shu gen qiao ju ji. Nam yin gu se rao de jin, nang go zhen men sa song ji, zhuo yu da du nian ju ji. Ra yue gu yue xin gang su, pin dang de wa ma li zhong yue ne, xin ri zi wang di zi jia zuo yi, 小别身体保度天就节，八月知道千宝当，根土上报天阳地神的，根觉就是当中修。跌倒当街绕多光，对上西北家娃当街去，我刚了就到刚把的，老人个月早我对个讲，上不学习绕多光去。哎呀，对不起。